Não entendi. Eu não entendi passar esse clipezinho do Flight Simulator antes.
Hello everyone and welcome to our Gamescom 2021 Xbox stream.
Mais 18 é o evento inteiro, entendeu, galera?
We're talking Age of Empires 4, Psychonauts 2, and my personal favorite, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Later on, we'll take an extended look at Forza Horizon.
Então, galera, eles já falaram que esse evento era pra mostrar coisas que já tinham sido anunciadas, mostrar um pouco mais do que já tinha sido anunciado. Se tiver alguma coisa a mais, será uma coisa, né? Mas não sabemos.
Yes, indeed. Our Xbox Plays team will also chat with devs and deep dive into current and upcoming games all week on twitch.tv/Xbox.
Let's get started with Techland and their upcoming zombie parkour
Dying Light.
sequel, Dying Light
Vou mostrar o Dying Light
2.
2. Stay Human. Legenda em português do YouTube tem?
Hello, I am Timon Smektawa, Dying Light 2 lead game
Aha,
designer.
temos.
This
Boa.
is David Lubrica, animation director. Hi. We can't wait
Vamos lá, Dying
until
Light.
December 7th to finally give you Dying Light 2 Stay Human, the game we have been working on really hard for the last few years.
We're hoping the gameplay video you're about to watch will give you a foretaste of parkour and combat systems waiting for you in the game.
And we are just about to enter the city,
Dying Light é
fighting
maneiro.
our way through its brutal and dangerous streets. Though, as you will see in a moment, there are plenty of things you can use to your advantage. So watch closely, look for special combat and parkour moves, and check out how with just a bit of creativity you can combine the two. Ready? Let's go!
Sometimes I wonder what this city looked like before all this. Probably like many others. People had their ambitions.
O mundo do Dying Light aí. Esse Dying Light vai ser legal, principalmente jogar em co-op, né?
Now it's all gone. The virus started it, but it was the people who made the world the way it is. This city, Villador.
Vilador.
They tell me they had a vision. They had hope.
Batman Jones falou, tô esperando o trailer do GTA 6 desde o trailer do GTA 5 em 2011.
Instead of fighting together, people stood against each other. War broke out.
Was it a little bird? Met a broken leg?
Hope died.
Parkour aí, né? O gameplay do parkour. Tem muita verticalidade no Dying Light. No 1 já tinha assim, nesse parece que tem mais.
Each time we strike down an enemy, we absorb their strength.
But I can't let that happen.
Ó, mandou rapel. Maneiro.
I need the secrets the city holds.
Caramba, o maluco tá sinistro, hein?
Still some rats here.
I have to pick a side.
The bazaar needs good people.
You're doing great so far.
I have to make a difference.
Let's check and see.
They say that great change is a series of small gestures. How about this series?
Caramba, o maluco tá... Os níveis de superpoder agora, né? Esse Dying Light aí, o cara é muito sinistro. Só que, cara, eu ainda acho que combate em primeira pessoa, combate de porrada em primeira pessoa ainda é muito esquisito, né? Não sei.
We'll see about that.
Well, that was an exciting trip, wasn't it, Timon?
Sim,
Did you
mano.
notice those bandits in medieval-like armor passing by skyscrapers, banks, and large billboards? That's what we call a modern Dark Ages.
And it's a very unique design, one very important for the plot of Dying Light 2. But there's another thing that stood out to me, all those parkour moves that you and your team has put so much effort into.
Well, all you need is a few thousand of animations, cooperation with professional tracers, mock-up sessions, and invaluable help from David Bell, whose face and moves player will see in the game, by the way.
No, yes, right. And we've got twice the number of parkour moves compared to the first
Aí,
game.
falando que aumentaram
And we are
muito, né, a
showing
quantidade de
some of them
parceiros
in
pra
this
ajudar a fazer o
trailer.
parkour e
The
tal.
vault kicks being the most important to me personally. It
Chute
brings a whole new
voadora,
fighting
né?
style into the game. The player can stagger an enemy and use them to perform further attacks, for example by rebounding from their bodies, jumping of them onto other foes, and so on.
I think we captured the movement really well and made it quite simple for the players to perform. I can't wait for them to try it out and tell for themselves how much they loved it.
It's definitely going to be useful. The city's buildings are higher than anything we have done before, improving its verticality. Players will need to find a way to reach those tall skyscrapers and other challenging spots too.
Then it's good we scattered some helpers around, like a paraglider, which can support players in both parkouring and combat.
Exactly, and it's gonna do great, especially in fights against humans, which are more frequent and important than in Dying Light
Então vai ter
1.
mais luta contra humanos
It's been
nesse aí.
over
Legal.
20 years since the events from
Passaram
the
20
first
anos do
game,
primeiro
so
Dying
people
Light e tal.
adjusted.
É, o Dying Light
They
2 a gente
are
já viu muita
much
coisa, tá?
bolder
Só
now,
lança
at
logo
least
esse jogo,
during
chega,
the
né?
day.
Pelo amor de Deus.
And they are more vicious too.
O Dying Light 2 no
And I
vizinho.
think that's a great summary of this discussion. Pre-order Dying Light 2 and explore its vast, complex world on December 7th. Thanks, David.
Thank you.
For the first time in the storied history of the franchise, Microsoft Flight Simulator launched on a home console.
Flight Simulator a gente já tinha visto também, né? Agradecer o Cebo TDW, Cliston, J. Henrique 10, Mais Novo, Isra Torres, Kleber Rabudo, Léo Ozaki, Everton Campelo, Pedro SNTN, Gabriel XSZ, Léo Blue, HF, Walker Gomes, obrigado. Mais uma vez estou vendo sobre o Flight Simulator, que agora é para console, né? Que a gente assistiu na E3, né?
It went great. As you said, the reaction to the Xbox console launch was,
Maneiro
was
essa
really
jaqueta
just
dele.
amazing. Both from Xbox gamers and from the press, they've been so gracious with their feedback. I don't know if you know, but Flight Simulator is one of the highest rated games on Xbox this year, which I think is just great validation that the translation of the simulation to the console has really worked well. Our usage numbers are through the roof. We are absolutely shattering franchise records, and I can tell you there have never been more people playing Flight Simulator than right now. So it's an awesome time.
That is awesome. Congratulations on the launch, really. But
É o DLC lá do Maverick, né?
I want to go to the danger zone. So what's going on with Top Gun?
There's so much going on, Paris. So you and I talked about Top Gun Maverick earlier. The fans are super excited. They saw the FA-18. They can't wait to start flying. And as you know, it comes out later this year as free DLC alongside the movie. But as the movie is still under wraps, so are we. So I can still not tell you that much about it.
Alan do Butantan falou, jogando isso no meu Series X realmente tá lindo, só no meu estilo de jogo. É a mesma coisa no meu caso aqui, cara. Não é realmente meu estilo.
Next month, on September 7th, we are launching World Update 6. And this world update, I mean, at the beginning of the show, if you remember, there was a little red plane flying into Cologne. Well, we did that because World Update 6 updates that region, the region of Gamescom. So Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And what that means to us is we have new aerial and satellite images. We have a new elevation map that helps us with the mountains. So the Alps actually look awesome
Realmente
now.
É muito bonito, né?
We have new 3D cities like Frankfurt and Wuppertal in Germany. We have Basel in Switzerland. We have Vienna and Graz in Austria, and those cities look just amazing. They have like 7 centimeters resolution, and it's awesome. But we want to celebrate the entire region, so we picked 100 of the most scenic places, the most famous landmarks, and we call those POIs, and we sort of spread them throughout the simulation.
Ó, Sandro falou, será que tem novidade do PUBG? Caramba, hein, Sandro? PUBG, mané.
Stuttgart in Germany, and Klagenfurt in Austria, and St. Gallen in Switzerland. And what it ties it all together is missions. We're having new discovery flights, we have new landing challenges, and we have new sort of tours of the country. So they fly you around all the awesome looking places and really celebrate the beauty of this region of Earth. And this is a celebration of DACH, of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. I'm so happy to be able to announce the date here at Gamescom.
You know, that is really incredible, all the different regions and everything that you're going to have in the game, and the way that you're going to be able to actually highlight those.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, but you know, for us, it's actually not just the region and the visuals. We are.
TNMR07, R. Williams, virou sub, Namix Mega, Panda Monum. Obrigado, gente. Na GTA 5 e GTA 6, galera. Esquece isso.
Special relationship with flying, with aviation. Sometimes it's, you know, the first experiments with aircraft, or a famous pilot, or a feat of aviation, or like a local
Henderson, Junior Bless.
So we thought to ourselves, why do we not use these world updates to celebrate the planes? So we are announcing a new series. We call them Local Legends. And think about that as planes that are locally well known, like in that region, but outside in the world, not so much.
Yeah.
But why not use the world updates to highlight this, to bring these awesome machines to a worldwide audience? So for World Update 6, we picked a German plane from the 1930s. It's called Junkers U-52. In Germany, it's lovingly named Tante U, so Aunt U. And we think of us as sort of a digital preservation. So we really want to get these planes to an extreme level of detail. We're going out of our way to really go
Rafa Freitas do sub pro chat, obrigado. Everton Galvas virou sub também, obrigado.
Full scans of the outside and the inside, as detailed as 1 millimeter, which is as good as you can really do this. And then we're working with, for the Junkers, we work with Bernd Junkers, who is the grandson of the original creator of the plane, Hugo Junkers, and he's helping us. He had a ton of insight and materials. Then we worked with an organization that is preserving one of the last surviving examples of the Junkers. So they let us scan and take photographs. And then we were lucky that to find a pilot that actually flew one of those planes while it was still flying in the real world. And
Garanto que tem alguém no chat que já jogou esse Flight Simulator.
It sounds right. Does it feel right in the air? So we're having a blast.
Existe modo
experts to really bring these, to celebrate this
modo pra quem não quer simular nada, só quer voar. Tipo assim, aperta o botão, tipo modo GTA, que meu avião voa, aperta o botão e voa. Tem isso? Ah, tem, gostei, aí sim.
So we're working with 40 museums around the world.
Aí seria mais pra mim,
it's honestly one of the funnest parts of the job. You end up working with these curators of planes. These are their babies, and they sort of see the tooth of time in the real world sort of nagging on their remaining planes, and they're so happy when we come in with our scanning equipment, and we're basically capturing their planes, and they know that we can digitally preserve them in perpetuity. And we're actually giving those scans back to the museum so they can do something with it. And it's a great collaboration. And we're actually not just looking back in the history of aviation, we're also looking
towards the future. So
we are working with a fascinating German company called Volocopter.
Yeah.
And they're making an eVTOL air taxi for urban traffic. So they have a vision of the future, how these drone-type machines basically connect people in large cities. We're working directly with the engineering team to make sure that we are capturing their plane and their aircraft perfectly in the flight simulator, and that's coming out in November.
I mean, you weren't kidding when you're saying that there's a lot going on inside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Is there anything else you want to share?
Yeah, there's one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to announce that we've partnered with RARA. That's the Reno Air Racing Association. And every year they put on something called the Steel National Championship Air Race. And we're bringing this to Flight Simulator. So this is the fastest motorsport. This is right down your alley. It's the fastest motorsport on Earth. And I actually brought you a little trailer to look at.
So
corrida de avião, pelo visto.
Speed. We go into the danger zone, baby. Let's go ahead and show that.
Corrida de avião, legal.
You know I like going fast, and you know I love being in the danger zone. When is this coming out?
Man, these planes, they fly 500 miles, faster than 500 miles an hour, 50 to 250 feet above the ground. So you are definitely going to be in the danger zone. I mean, without going into too much detail, this Reno Air Race is actually the largest expansion we have since we launched on Flight Simulator. It's
legal, para quem curte aí, vai ter agora a corrida.
Race planes of the world. There's lots of them. This is also the first time when you can basically race against your friends and pilots across the planet. And so a competitive multiplayer is coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that will definitely test your pilot skills. And you ask, when is it coming out? This is coming out this fall, so it's right around the corner.
Oh, that is fantastic. And you know I have the need for speed, so I can't wait to get my hands on this and participate in some of these air races.
Awesome, man. We got you covered.
All right, thank you. If going fast on the ground is more your speed, keep an eye out for extended look at Forza Horizon 5 later on in the stream. We'll also talk with Wasteland 3's game director about the game's next big DLC. But first, if you're an Xbox Game Pass subscriber, we have some great news for you.
Novidade do Game Pass, vamos ver. O que vai chegar? Forza Horizon... Ué? Pareceu escrito 6 ali? Ou tô maluco? Eu já que eu tinha visto 6 ali.
Yep, somehow they did it. They added even more games to Game Pass. But let's talk about what's coming up. We're talking Age of Empires 4, the game's creative director, and we're going to see what's next.
Fala sobre Age of Empires. E vai ter coisa... Olha, lembra que o grande momento aí, há um tempo atrás, foi o DLC do Sea of Thieves, hein? Vamos ver.
Through shifting dungeons to defeat a mysterious eldritch terror. Let's dive into the pit.
Into the Pit é o nome do jogo. Uma espécie aí de fim do mundo, inferno, sei lá, demônios e... É isso aí. Leonardo falou, agora vai ser One Piece do Sea of Thieves, meu sonho. Caraca, ia ser foda, hein, One Piece do Sea of Thieves. É um Doom on Drugs, mas assim, e olha que o Doom já é bem um on Drugs, né? 19 de outubro, Game Pass.
Well, I am here with creative director of World's Edge, Adam Eisgreen. And Adam, I'm so excited
Age
to
of
talk to you,
Empires?
because you've brought something a little different and very special today.
Yeah, I have. So, you know, so far we've been showing everyone kind of what Age looks like from in the game, you know, when you're playing it. You've gotten to see a lot of footage of that, and we've also shown a little bit of our campaigns, right, through when we unveiled the 100 Years' War and showed Joan of Arc. But we have yet another way in Age of Empires 4 that we're kind of bringing history to life that we haven't talked about yet.
See, you do this to me. You put me in suspense. I want to know more, so let's go with it.
Well,
let's hear more.
Okay, wait, you get one moment of suspense. Okay, that's enough. So, what we brought today
Como é que os jovens falam?
we have these wonderful little
Cringe,
videos we've
não é isso?
created that are interspersed amongst the campaign, and they're about 3 to 5 minutes each. And we have over an hour of them total, and they're called Hands-on Histories.
André 05 Lopes virou sub, Gu Nunes, SBS virou sub. Vai ter o Razone hoje não, cara. Sinixter Fox virou sub, Squad Leader Yun, João Mocin,
Well, I hear
obrigado.
you've actually brought one of those segments that you're going to share here for the very first time.
Yes, I have. We are going to show you the segment on one of the most popular units from Age of Empires franchise and a fan favorite, the Trebuchet.
Excellent. Well, this I gotta see. Let's.
Age of Empires aí pra quem curte. Faz muito tempo que eu não jogo jogo de estratégia. RTS, né? A catapulta. Eles fizeram a catapulta real, maneira. Trebuchet, que é o nome desse tipo de catapulta.
At Warwick Castle in England, they've built a replica, one of the largest in the world. Originating in 7th century China, by the 13th century, trebuchets had evolved into devastatingly powerful weapons.
Such a simple design, but so effective.
It has several key features. A pivoted arm
O Tefinho
with a weight
Fates
at one
SX
end
Fred banido.
to hold the projectile at the other. To prime, the 6-ton weight is raised using tread wheels.
So this is one of the wheels, one of 2 that's attached to an axle. which would lift the counterweight, weighing 6 tons. It's based on muscle power alone. What's essential about launching a projectile as far as possible is making sure that this end of the arm is moving as fast as possible. So once that weight drops,
WGT Santos mandou 100 bits, deixa eu ver o que ele fala aqui. Eu falo, Davy, Ali Fire Team lançou hoje, não jogou não? Ou não curtiu? Não curti, cara, realmente. Pedro Alves, versão pra vocês também. Cheguei agora, Davy, tem uma coisa legal já? Ah, coisa legal sim, mas não, nenhuma novidade. Pra quem curte aí o Flight Simulator, tem muita coisa aí pra quem curte, né?
Trebuchets were carefully aimed, like modern guns.
In order to weaken the castle walls or even breach them, you had to make sure that the projectiles hit the same spot every single time.
For each projectile to follow the same trajectory, they all had to be the same weight and shape. To achieve this, masons used a gauge.
Now I'm going to load this projectile into the sling. Oh, this one must weigh about 25 kilograms, but some projectiles can get up to
O MT Slow virou sub, Sampa 18 virou sub, Diego Líder virou sub, FO positivo, Regis Cyborg, Vavive 6, Matheus Bra 1130.
Beehives, even dead bodies. Anything to cause maximum distress to the enemy.
Did you hear that whoosh?
It was the counterweight trebuchet's lethal combination of power and accuracy that made it the ultimate medieval siege weapon.
You know I'm going to say Trebuchet. Don't care, because that is awesome and remarkable.
Trebuchet tá montando... galera, Age of Empires, né?
Yeah, so... You know, one of the things when we were looking at what we were going to do with Age of Empires 4, there's a phrase I'm really fond of, which is, history is only as interesting as the people who taught it to you. And you could say that about any subject, really, right? But I think the great thing is when you have someone that's so enthusiastic and passionate about history, it really comes across. And we wanted to be that kind of teacher for history. And there's a phrase called Humanized History that I use to kind of describe what we tried to do, which is we tried to like connect past and present. And you can see that kind of in our briefings as well, where we've got like real stuff with like CG kind of overlaid to show you the history. And
so um pouquinho do áudio aqui. Kibi louco, vira sub, muito bem, obrigado, Kibi.
Ourselves and Relic partnered with this
Discovery, aparece o documentário da Discovery, da catapulta aí.
And they've done production on an amazing amount of shows and documentaries for the BBC and won every award you can imagine for media. And they travel to all of these locations in all these different countries to meet with these subject matter experts and get all of this great footage on how things really worked and how things were made. And it's been delightful to kind of go through that process and, you know, get all these and finally start showing them to everyone.
I love it. Now,
Mr. Malabim virou aqui do mês. Ei, David, será que pode tirar alguma surpresa desse evento? Poder pode, cara, mas eu não esperaria muito. Amanhã eu acho que você pode esperar mais surpresas.
Oh, well, favorites. Oh, man. Well, I think my personal favorite is one called...
Aliás, o Noob virou esse 8º mês. Salve, David, esperando algo bom aí no evento? Vamos ver se tem alguma surpresa. O Indiana Jones da Bethesda, o Sátiro falou, é uma boa, será que pode aparecer? Guilherme SOS 18 virou esse 8º mês. Otávio, David, você acha que é hora de comprar o console e Game Pass é um diferencial para os consoles? Estamos juntos? Claro que é, porra. Claro que o Game Pass é um grande diferencial. Com certeza, principalmente se você não tem dinheiro para comprar vários jogos no ano, vários lançamentos, entendeu? Realmente é uma alternativa da mais pra gente aqui no Brasil. Sátiro virou sobre o 3º mês. Fala, David, acho que terá algo do Indiana Jones Bethesda? Então, Sátiro, gostaria de ver realmente. Porque eles só anunciaram, estamos fazendo, mas não teve nada até agora, né? É verdade. Vai ter um negócio da Bethesda dia 26, né? Então tem isso também.
And I also love to mention this to people that you and the team do so much research, and it's so great to see this approach being used in a hands-on history kind of segment. But I mean, what was that approach like to sort of, you know, sell going forward, especially since it's such a unique in-game experience?
Well, the cool thing was it was there from day one. It was one of the things I was really wanted to do, is try to tell these stories in a different way. But I'll tell you, like, full disclosure, it's been insanely nerve-wracking because we're trying something completely different that no one's ever done before in a game, right? We're history, but we're a game, but we're teaching you things, but you're having fun. And Finding that middle ground has been really challenging, and you know, every time we've shown the campaigns or we've shown these hands-on histories, I've been like, oh god, is it gonna work? Like,
virou sub pro terceiro mês, também de novo, valeu.
Experience the entire thing put together. I've just been like, wow, this is great, and it's so different and kind of cool and refreshing. So, so far so good, right? But yeah, it's been a journey, you know, to get all this done and put the whole game together.
Well, I love that you mentioned journey because we are coming towards the end of this development journey for Age 4. Talk to me about where people can find and learn more about Age of Empires 4. I know they're all chomping at the bit.
Oh, well, you know, October 28th, we are launching the game. You can go to ageofempires.com to learn more about the title. And if you're really, really excited, right now, you can go onto the Microsoft Store or Steam, pre-order the game right now. And of course, we will be there day one, Xbox Game Pass for PC as well. So anyone that's on that can just grab the game and start playing. But
yes, I believe you are a part of something very special.
Yes, so Gamescom opening night live.
Yes.
11 a.m. Pacific time. There might be something Age of Empires related in there, so if you're a fan, you probably should tune in.
Aí vai ter uma... Agora não entendi, os caras têm o bagulho pra falar aqui, ele fala, não, amanhã a gente fala. Não entendi. Mas vai ter mais coisa de Age of Empires amanhã, então.
Age of Empires 4 looks fantastic, so I cannot wait. October 28th, neither should you. Now, we have tons coming up here today, including a new update for State of Decay 2 and an extended look.
Vai ter novidade pro State of Decay, vai ter Forza Horizon 5.
But now, let's catch up with Paris, who's gone from flying the skies in Microsoft Flight Sim to a different kind of cloud.
That's right, Kate. Xbox Cloud Gaming is already available on Windows PCs, mobile phones, and tablets. And now, it's coming to Xbox consoles. The future with cloud gaming sounds bright. No waiting to
xCloud nos consoles. Tomara que no Brasil funcione bem, né? Que a gente sabe que a nossa internet é uma merda, mas...
See how the vision of cloud gaming will bring people together without barriers.
So when I think about cloud and when I think about gaming, those two things together to me really show you the future where you can pick up something and you could play it anywhere and you could do it quickly.
Cloud gaming is phenomenal. This is pretty great. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
This actually looks so good. Games are large and you want to keep.
Oi, Ozymandia 505 virou sub, Madaru virou sub, Austin Eugênio virou sub, Mr. S. Gomes virou sub, Rafael Farolo mandou 100 bits. O David, eu vi na porta oficial New World comunicando que amanhã vai soltar novidades sobre o jogo na Gamescom. Ah, legal. Aí, Paixão, deu lag, o Austin Eugênio, muito obrigado. Deu lag, falou 120 dias com o Limar, como o tempo voa.
It should be as easy as finding the game that you look for on your console and just jumping right in.
We're targeting 1080p at 60 frames per second.
What's crazy about this is like the latency. This is the kind of stuff you need with cloud gaming.
Oh, 60 frames? That's actually very smooth.
The process itself to get into cloud gaming feels like you're playing on console, right? You go, you find the game you want, you press play.
It's so easy nowadays. You can pick up any device and pretty much play any Xbox game on Game Pass.
Henriquez virou sub, obrigado. Vai ter treino, vai ter novo de Forza sim, Anto Twitch, eles já falaram que vai rolar.
I really love the flexibility. It's awesome.
Everything that Xbox is doing right now is just getting rid of the limits of having to be on a specific platform or a specific console. Play on PC and mobile, and now on Gen 8.
Yeah, Gen 8 consoles can play Gen 9 content. Isn't that so cool?
With cloud gaming, we have the ability, because you are connecting to consoles that are in our data centers, to allow the Gen 8
customers, the Xbox virou sub. Eu vou dar uma mijada enquanto tá na propaganda do
without it.
There's so much opportunity when it comes to thinking about how we can make content more readily available and let people play where they want to. Sign me up. I'm ready for cloud gaming right now. Let's do it. When's the release date? When does it release?
August 9th saw the release of the free optimized update for Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on the Xbox Series S and X. With beautiful and rich visuals, thanks to the addition of ray tracing and improved materials alongside performance updates, this is the perfect opportunity to relive Senua's journey or experience it for the first time. And if you haven't
a gente quer saber do Hellblade 2, na verdade, né?
Grab a pair of headphones and immerse yourself into this world.
Agreed. Speaking of unique experiences on Game Pass, the Xbox Plays team will be taking a look at some ID at Xbox titles over the next few days, including 12 Minutes and The Big Con.
They're also talking with developers from Halo, the Master Chief Collection, Forza Horizon 5, and Destiny 2. So join the live Q&A to get your burning questions answered. You can catch all of
Patrick
those
Mota virou sub, obrigado.
twitch.tv/Xbox.
Speaking of Forza Horizon 5, don't forget our friends at Playground Games will give us an extended look at their monument to motoring in Mexico later on.
That includes never-before-seen areas of the game map, plus cars that have never been in the Forza franchise before. I've loved everything I've seen of Forza Horizon 5 so far, and I can't wait.
Vamos ver agora Forza?
There's more games to check out, right?
Não, ainda não.
Well, right you are, Paris. Let's
Kevin Skywalker vai ser sexto mês.
Their newest DLC introduces us to a new cult. The Cult of the Holy Detonation.
Bom, outro jogo aí. Holy Detonation. Gostei do nome.
Deep within Cheyenne Mountain, we've changed. Devolved into the mutations you see before you. Set on a righteous path. The Holy Detonation's life-giving glow.
É visto de cima, será?
Everyone. May the light of the Holy Detonation purify you. Join us.
Ah, o Wasteland 3. É, eu não curto muito o Wasteland não, na verdade, hein. Alisson Salazar virou sub, obrigado.
With new patches, bug fixes, and added features, like a fine wine, Wasteland 3 just gets better with age. To really savor the game's bouquet, we're talking with inXile game director David Rogers. David, thank you for joining us.
I'm super stoked to be here, thanks.
So in the trailer, we saw that the DLC is coming out on October 5th, but we know...
Felipe Delira virou sub, Dave Ferreira virou sub, P. Honest virou sub do mês. Podia rolar algo de Hellblade, hein? Mas por enquanto seguimos sonhando. É, eu também queria ver, né? Mais de Hellblade 2. Então, mas sei lá, tá? Queria dizer pra vocês que, não sei se vocês viram aí o cara do Age of Empires, que mostrou quase nada de gameplay, deram um videozinho da catapulta, falam amanhã a gente vai mostrar não sei o que. Parece que eles estão guardando as coisas pra amanhã, sendo que hoje que é o evento deles mesmo, né? Então assim, talvez porque eles achem que amanhã, o evento de amanhã vai ter mais atenção, porque é um evento que engloba mais coisas, não sei.
Now, this DLC is called The Cult of the Holy Detonation. Now, talk about that a little bit. Tell me.
Cacimbas, virou sub no mês, obrigado, Cacimbas.
Right, so you've heard of,
amanhã tem o evento da Gamescom, esse de hoje é do Xbox, entendeu? Amanhã é a Gamescom, que aí pode ter de tudo. Eles só estão, tipo, mostrando um pouquinho e tal.
Old friend calls you and says, "Hey, I need your help securing this secret military base and all the secrets within." And as soon as you get there, you find two warring cults battling over supremacy, trying to take control of the Holy Detonation, which is this pre-war science experiment that they worship as a god.
Yeah.
And, you know, these cultists are insane, they're mutated, they've gone totally mad, and all they want to do is share the holy radiation with you and your entire ranger team. How generous.
Yeah, that sounds a lot cooler than some of the cults I may have joined in the past, but this is typical Wasteland fashion. We're really going to be able to get in there and mix it up, right?
Right, right. So you and your ranger team insert yourself right smack dab in the middle of their holy war, which, you know, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
And this is a Wasteland game, so you decide everything. Choice and consequence is our bread and butter. And so you decide who lives, who dies, who gets screwed over, who takes charge. You're deciding the fate of the cults, the Holy Detonation, Cheyenne Mountain, and ultimately all of Colorado. This is really your game to craft and mold.
That's awesome. So the last expansion was the Battle of Steeltown, right?
Yeah.
You had giant robots and things like that. So, you know, what are you going to do to actually top something like that from the last expansion?
Right. So we wanted like returning players to find something that they could never find in another version or like in previous versions of Wasteland 3. And so we built this as a Wasteland style dungeon crawl. And in there, you find this awesome mix of mystery, exploration.
Alguém gosta de Wasteland? Eu não costumo curtir muito, não.
Time capsule and some of the raddest boss battles we have ever.
Wagner H07 virou sub, obrigado, Wagner.
That's awesome.
Quase ninguém, né? Vinícius Xiaomi virou sub 16 mês, obrigado.
Right. So we took the best parts of Wasteland combat and we breathed new life into it with objective-based combat, which are basically super rad boss battles. It's no longer you're like huddling in a corner, throwing down turrets, just going on murderous rampages. It's not about killing, it's about getting the job done. And so now, combat doesn't end until the mission is over. We send you on proper combat missions. You're in there, breaking into prisons, rescuing POWs. You're disrupting these high-tech cultist rituals. You are splitting your fire team and coordinating like you never have had to before. Like, everyone on your team has a job, and I really think this is going to take old players who know their Ranger team like the back of their hands, and it's going to make them scratch their head and really have to rethink how they go about combat and making it new, exciting, and challenging in a, like, mentally in a way we haven't been able to really do before with just straight-up murder combat.
Now, Wasteland has a reputation for getting a little silly.
Right.
What are some of the weird
X Pai Jesus JVBT3, Vinícius Xiaomi, muito obrigado. O Henrique de Laço falou, pelo menos o cara tá animado com a explicação, alguém tem que estar. Alguém tem, né?
Let them be creative and fun and silly. Like, Exile's modus operandi is if we're like brainstorming and something makes us laugh, we just put it in the game. That's just how we do it, and we pick up the pieces afterwards. Because we want to make something that entertains us, and then we know if we're having fun, our fans are going to have fun along with us. And so we got to explore, like, really letting you get deep into this like weird radiation cult and let you interact with them and talk with them. And tell stories and like maybe even join them. And so, like, for instance, one of the characters you meet, one of the cultists you meet, is this slathering beast. He's got like claws.
O jogo aí, né? Desenvolvedor tem que estar animado com o próprio jogo, né? Que senão é complicado, hein?
Like, you meet him and he's like, "Hey guys."
O Rodslu, eu já falei das mudanças da Twitch, cara. É assim, é muito ruim pros criadores, né? Prejudicou muito, vai ter uma redução muito grande na galera que faz live na Twitch depois disso aí. Realmente. Bem complicado.
If you took like 20 cultists and you like melted them into a big pile, kind of like I would do this with like a magnifying glass. I would like melt like army guys and like GI Joes into a big pile, and he's wet and sloppy and gross and he's hard to understand and he needs a translator supposedly, but he's like your #1 fan, and getting to build like this totally out there wild extreme character was a ton of fun to write for. It's a ton of fun to like explore like what makes this cult tick, and he's an absolute blast. Hell, even some of the weapons that you find in Cheyenne Mountain, they're devolved cultists. Like, there's one guy and he kind of devolved into this like vomiting bagpipe creature, and he has this real like kill me vibe about him. But we get to play with these fun body horror themes that let us.
Rodslu ali. Tainub virou sub. Lembrando, galera, ó, quero só lembrar vocês. Vai acabar o evento da Microsoft, eu vou jogar 12 Minutes com a Thaís, tá? A gente vai jogar, estamos querendo jogar esse jogo junto há um tempo, a gente vai jogar aqui. E vamos até. Se a gente não zerar hoje, a gente continua jogando amanhã. Depois do evento também, claro.
You've been working on Wasteland 3 for a while. There's already expansions that are out there.
Ó, vamos lançar a aposta então? Vamos, aposta. Que jogo eu boto na aposta? Vai aparecer jogo tal? Que jogo? Comenta aí que eu vou fazer uma apostinha aqui no chat. Vambora. Manda aí, o que vocês acham?
And so you can get the whole thing with the Colorado collection. That's the base game plus Cult of the Holy Detonation and Battle of
Halo. Vamos botar o Halo, que é um que tem chance de aparecer, como tem chance de não aparecer. Vamos lá. Halo. Halo vai aparecer hoje no evento, tá? Halo, tá? É um grande jogo da Microsoft, né? Sim ou não? 5 minutos aí pra vocês decidirem se vocês acham que vai aparecer ou não. Toma. Não vamos botar o Elder Scrolls, não vou botar essas porra. Cara, não vai aparecer. Se aparecer vai ser um milagre, então...
That is awesome. So this is the Cult of the Holy Detonation coming October 5th. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Barish. Appreciate it.
All right. In the 3 years since its launch, Sea of Thieves has played host to some incredible crossovers, including unique ship sets inspired by games like Battletoads, State of Decay, Halo, and more. Today, we're excited to announce a brand new special event that will award players an all-new ship as a
novo navio.
Latest wild crossover.
Sea of Thieves, vamos ver qual é o evento.
Better yet, this event begins tomorrow.
Amanhã?
So get ready to make some mayhem And let's get our first look at this very special ship.
Vamos ver. Ah, do Half-Life, legal! É uma skin de barco, né? Não é um barco novo, né? Ah, legal. Cara, por que fudeu a aposta? Ah, o cara falou que... Eu não reparei, o cara falou que vai aparecer Halo?
Guten Tag, everyone. Really cool to be a part of this all-digital Gamescom event. And we were thinking, what's the best way to kind of celebrate Gamescom and to be a part of this as Sea of Thieves? And so we're
Nossa,
really
Borderlands, pareceu o bagulho do Half-Life.
Mayhem shipset.
É Borderlands.
A really cool ship that's inspired by Borderlands.
Cara, muito parecido com... Eu não tô maluco aqui, eu olhei ali, é muito parecido com o logo do... Não, então a aposta morreu, galera. Então a aposta morreu,
And giving all of our players the chance to earn it as part of this live event that we've cunningly
Caralho, cara, eu falei, não tô maluco. Esse símbolo é do Half-Life, é muito parecido com o símbolo do Half-Life com esse do Borderlands. Vamos matar a aposta, matar a aposta.
So we hope everybody gets a chance to take part
Fable,
in this
então.
awesome time-limited event.
Fable.
So it starts today and it runs through to
Vamos fazer de
September
Fable,
7th.
então.
So that's
Pode
the
ser?
time period you've got to get your hands on the Mayhem chipset. And I think that's it from me. So, as always, I will see you on the seas.
Vamos fazer com Fable, então. Vamos lá.
Hope. It's always been a dangerous world in Trumbull Valley.
Oh.
But now, it's hope that brings us back together.
Botei o Halo então, tá? Galera, olha só, a gente tá no Hype Train, muito obrigado. Todo mundo que tá vendo, vamos virar sub, subir esse Hype Train pro level 2, tá? O Cyberzel, ele Zerteu, Dodô Matrin já tá level 2 Hype Train, Tainub, muito obrigado, gente. Street of Decay foi um jogo que, pelo menos na época eu joguei Street of Decay 2, né? Muitos problemas, o co-op era problemático também, não curti muito não, sinceramente. Na época, né? Agora já milhões de updates, mas... Cara, eu tenho tanto jogo pra jogar que eu não posso ficar esperando um ano até o jogo ficar bom. Eu jogo quando o jogo vem, né? O Double Colaz virou sub, JOTCF virou sub, pra vocês mesmos, ou pra vocês mesmos por aqui assistindo sempre.
Well, just like zombies themselves, it seems everything old is new again in State of Decay 2. And we have a guest to walk us through this Undead update. Please join me in welcoming Undead Labs Director of Communications, Wonder Russell. Hello, Wonder, how are you?
Hello, I'm great. It's great to be here, talk about the Homecoming update releasing on September 1st. We are very excited to get this into players' hands.
You are indeed. So let's talk about the Homecoming update. Obviously, we are coming back to Trumbull Valley. We were there for Heartland, the update, back in 2019. Talk to me about the differences, and I'll sit right here and listen, because you're adorable.
So Heartland is the story mode within the game, but it's a very linear, narrative-driven experience. You know, players couldn't move their communities there. So that's all changed with the Trumbull Valley map. It is the 5th core open-world map. It's fully remastered.
Mabsu N07 virou sub, Davy Jones virou sub.
So players can return to Trumbull Valley with their communities, start new communities there, and really start exploring everything that the new map has to offer.
Vai ter mapa novo, legal.
Would be a sequel then to Heartland?
Yeah, exactly right. So the events in Heartland kind of play out. You see what happens in Trumbull Valley. So we think of it as the third part of our Trumbull saga that began with the original State of Decay game, continued into Heartland, and now we see what has happened since then and what storylines might be coming to a close. So there is a lot for players to discover, a lot of environmental stories.
Eu lembro quando a gente jogou Street of Decay 2, jogamos com o Sun, né? Caraca, como bugou o lançamento dessa porra, né?
That players might remember. So that's going to be exciting.
Interesting. Well, and anytime you
Ó, deixa eu ver como é que tá aqui, ó, são...
A juggernaut of content, pun
Ó,
intended.
78% está apostando no não aqui, tá? Com mais de 1 milhão de moedas, tá? E Fable não vai aparecer, tá?
We're doing something unique with the Trumbull Valley map. There are items there that you can only find on that map and nowhere else in the game, including 12 new hats and outfits.
Látia Vícaros, obrigado.
Weapons. We've got 6 new bases, 2 new achievements for achievement hunters. And on top of that, we are adding the game's 12th bounty pack. So that will be available from the bounty broker across all maps. And I have to say, they are some of the coolest weapons I have ever seen go into the game. I'm so excited for people to find them.
A juggernaut amount of content, and I don't care who sees that second ton of the day. That works out great. But let's talk about the State of Decay community, because it's absolutely an integral part to this entire franchise. And State of Decay being on Xbox Game Pass, how has that impacted the community? How has that impacted the game? Talk to me about those.
It's been fantastic, and you know, we have an amazing community. We love them so much. In fact, one of the reasons we're doing Trumbull Valley as a map is because it was one of the most requested features from the community, which also
Cara, esses eventos de assim, vamos falar a verdade, né? Nós gostamos do quê? Nós gostamos de jogos. O que a gente quer ver em evento de jogo? Jogo, né? A gente quer ver trailer, gameplay. Pra gente, é só isso que importa. Mas é uma coisa comum, né? Em todos os eventos de games, todos. Essa massagem de ego entre apresentadores e desenvolvedores, assim, olha, o seu jogo é muito incrível, né? E aí o desenvolvedor, sim, nós somos muito incríveis. Caramba, como você é incrível, sim, somos muito incríveis. É assim, sabe qual é? E eles têm que entender que só quem gosta disso são eles, entendeu? Que a gente que tá do outro lado só gosta de ver gameplay e trailer.
All this awaits in Strayblade.
E assim, sei lá, 80% desses jogos aí vão sair cheio de problema, tá ligado? E o curioso assim, porque, por exemplo, os eventos da Microsoft quando é trailer, é embrasado, Trailer, dá nem tempo pra respirar, que é o que a gente quer, realmente. Só que esse evento realmente é só pra mostrar o que já tinha sido mostrado e tal, então, né, mas assim, né, acaba ficando chato,
In Strayblade, you discover the mystical lost valley of Akria, a world which ranges from overgrown temple ruins to frozen caves and winding canyons. A
Strayblade
that changes based on your victories and plenty of dues to stab in blade-to-blade combat. If that weren't
Teve cara aqui que fez uma analogia com um certo produto de entretenimento adulto. É perfeita a analogia que ele fez, inclusive.
From Point Blank Games about Strayblade.
Hello everybody, I'm Leonard Kausch, Game Director at Point Blank Games, and today I will show you Strayblade.
Strayblade, vamos ver esse jogo.
Strayblade is an action RPG where you play a rogue adventurer who is exploring the ancient valley of Akria with his companion.
Pô, parece o bichinho lá do Biomutant.
Three Akrian metals to restore balance to this war-torn land.
That is the how, as well as the why.
Combat and exploration are the two key elements of our game. Let's dive into the combat first. Our combat system merges strategic anticipation of enemy attacks with split-second blade-to-blade reactions. It is the high noon of skill-based melee weapon combat.
Esse aqui, o Rodslo mandou uma 250 bits, eu vou ler. O Neto, 1960, virou sub. Lúcio, 47x, James BNU, Falqueto ES. A Trin já está level 5, muito obrigado. Demi, Joker, um monte de número. Vi que vai sair o traje do Davy Jones, não vi, cara, maneiro. O Rodslu falou, esse jogo parece meio memes. Ah, muitos jogos são meio memes aí, né? Parece... É aquele negócio, galera, é aquela parada, tipo assim, eu falo as paradas porque eu tenho eu já tô nesse meio há muito tempo, né? Eu jogo videogame há muito tempo e eu tô trabalhando com meio trabalhando com videogame há muitos e muitos anos, mais de uma década, né? Então não é que eu adivinho certas coisas ou eu prevejo, não, são coisas óbvias. Quando veio os consoles novos, era óbvio que a gente só ia ver o que esses consoles podem fazer muito tempo depois. A gente não tá nem perto de começar a ver o que esses hardware faz de verdade. Tirando que vai ter menos loading. Fora isso, ainda vai demorar um tempasso pra ver qualquer coisa de real evolução.
As in,
né?
my evil twin murdered 4 of my husbands because they secretly are in love with me. Unique.
MD, SCV, o Gabriel Franco, King Marlon vs. Brutal. Mas sabe mais vezes aqui? Sabe se dá pra jogar Red Dead 1 no PS5? Cara, não sei, acho que não, talvez, hein?
Yeah. It's coming to Xbox as an adaptation, not a direct port, meaning that the UI and controls have been refined to bring that grand strategy experience to a controller.
Not to mention bringing the grand strategy experience to my comfy living room couch.
We'll all be ruling from our throne room soon enough. Check out Crusader Kings 3, now coming to Xbox consoles.
Crusader King 3, mais um jogo aí. É muito jogo, hein? Caramba!
My son, we must never forget the crimes committed against us.
Mas ó, uma coisa que eu posso dizer, hein? Hoje, pelo menos, não tá tendo só jogo futurista. Pelo menos hoje tá. Amanhã eu vou fazer um contador de jogo futurista. Eu vou anotar. Jogo futurista, marquei. Vamos marcar um jogo futurista.
That the greatest wars are won with weddings, not warriors. With daggers, not swords. Only the small-minded.
Rapidamente você, galera, mais um subzinho pra gente pegar o level máximo. Se você virar sub, você concorre ao PlayStation 5 no final do mês. Então vira sub. Se tem Amazon Prime, Twitch Prime, aperta o botão roxo, escrever e vira sub. Vambora. O Marlon falou jogo futurista é tipo Isekai, exato. Hyperbeast Junior 08, Jonathan 326, muito obrigado. Pirata Maluco 109, vamos fazer com o jogo medieval. Então beleza, eu vou anotar aqui, ó. Jogo medieval, jogo futurista. A gente vai marcando, vamos ver no final do evento quanto saiu de cada um, tá? Akira Luminous, Vitor Gamer 880, Guinness, Pirata Maluco 109, Hype 360%, vambora!
You really haven't lived until you've made an 8-year-old the King of England.
Well, it's nice to have hobbies. We've all gotten into some weird stuff this past year.
Weird like diving into people's brains and exploring their mental universes projected into a psychedelic 60s wonderland kind of weird?
Exactly that kind of weird, which means I am so excited for Psychonauts to finally get a sequel. It has been so long.
There really is something special about Psychonauts, isn't it?
There really is indeed. Now, think about this. 2005, when Psychonauts originally came out, was a different time for gaming. Most of the biggest games that year, we're talking Resident Evil 4, Battlefield 2, Call of Duty 2. They were great games, for sure, but they were all big, beefy shooter games.
Meanwhile, Psychonauts had humor, whimsy,
All Psychonauts
and surprisingly heartfelt moments. It was an oasis of color and humanity in an era when games were increasingly turning grimy, dark, and combative.
Not to mention having some deceptively deep character moments.
Eu nunca joguei Psychonauts 1, né? Você acha maneiro Psychonauts?
It has been a long time coming, and it is finally here. Enjoy this long-awaited launch trailer for Psychonauts.
Trailer de lançamento. Sai quando? Sai hoje, né? Hoje ou amanhã, uma coisa assim. Mas esse foi um jogo que, nossa, já mostraram muito também. O bagulho de James Bond. E Kim César, Ozumak, Daniel, Thiago Via.
My name is Raz. And
Raz.
I'm the new intern. And today is my first day on the job.
Get ready, Rasputin.
Did you forget everything I taught you about levitation, Rasputin?
I'm not supposed to check out equipment to interns.
You did what? Can't we just...
No. Quit picking on the new kid. We were all new once, in case you forgot.
I've got eyes on the target. And I've got eyes on me.
All I see is another unruly peasant.
Oh boy.
It wouldn't be the first time the Psychonauts underestimated Maligula's power.
Leave it to me.
No Wells, você Bruno, Davy Jones, obrigado por deixar informar notícias e reviews durante todos esses anos. Continue com o bom trabalho. O que você tá esperando especial pro evento de amanhã? Cara, eu já parei de ter expectativa. Eu tô só esperando ver bons jogos legais, tá ligado? Chega de expectativa.
It's clear I could not be more excited for Psychonauts 2 because I gotta be honest, me and that original game, we got some beef that needs settling. If you know, you know. The meat circus level, it is infamous, it is brutal, it is difficult to say the least. It's the final level of the original game that came out, and I cannot believe I'm doing the math on this one. 16 years ago, Tim Schafer and Lizette Montgomery. I am definitely dating
16 anos foi o primeiro, caramba. Demorou pra vir a sequência, hein? Esse aí superou GTA 6 e Elder Scrolls. Quer dizer, não sei, né? Por enquanto tá esperando.
Only yesterday, but it kind of was for Raz because the story picks up right where the first game left off. And even though it has been a lot of years,
o AMZFHCL falou: se você não pudesse trabalhar com videogame ou tecnologia, no que você trabalharia? Então, primeiro, se eu pudesse escolher, trabalharia com esporte. Segundo, se eu não pudesse escolher, se eu imaginava como estaria minha vida, eu provavelmente estaria trabalhando em negócios, no mundo corporativo.
Thank you. It was really important for us to carry the legacy forward, especially the cool style of Wonk that is very prevalent in the first game.
Dois Loud X virou sub, obrigado.
I'm in there for it. Let's roll it back a bit. Of course, this can be kind of a trippy idea if you're not familiar. Psychonauts, they still jump into people's minds, I'm assuming, like the first game, right? So if a Psychonaut sort of dove into my brain, it would be like a lot of Ted Lasso quotes and French bulldog.
Não é ser pra jogar futebol, né, gente? É trabalhar com futebol, não jogar futebol, porra.
All the levels are different, just like every person is different, based on their personality.
A Cagalhão foi mais um David até no escritório. Já fiz muito, cara. Já trabalhei muito assim já. Antes de... Faz muito tempo já, né?
Mas... when he goes in, he gets to fight those monsters and help people deal with their nightmares and wrestle with their inner demons.
Thiago Matapato virou sub, Luqueta sem BR virou sub. O Joker já mostrou Sea of Thieves, cara. Vai ter uma parceria, uma skin de barco do Borderlands.
Well, I loved it from the first game, certainly, Lizette. Let's talk a little bit about how that kind of concept expresses itself in the game world. I mean, Psychonauts 2 has got it all over the place, I'm sure.
Yeah, it was really important for us to carry forward the unique brain worlds and unique levels from the first game and the unique style as well. So we were really focused on how we could bring forward that style in Wonk and also bring in new levels and enemies.
Now, of course, it wouldn't be Psychonauts without new mental demons. And I'm sure it's happening in Psychonauts 2. What does this mean? Does it mean basically is that we're finally able to slap COVID anxiety in the face?
Well, I don't know if you get to slap anxiety in your face, but you definitely get to slap some panic attacks. And COVID definitely caused a lot of those. In addition to panic attacks, some of our old enemies have also come back. Our sensors are our favorites, and they're definitely here. And in addition to that, we also have our doubts. And some new enemies. There's our lovely sensor. Also some regrets, some flying regrets. There are a ranged enemy, and they definitely are challenging. Our doubts are our slow,
caraca, o Hytale, mané!
Also seeing our enabler here.
A Riot comprou o Hytale, não foi? O que aconteceu com o Hytale, maluco?
So we have a whole
caraca, o Hytale, né? The Forest, no, cadê? Esses são os jogos que a gente quer e... Caraca, o Hytale, mané.
Now, for those who haven't played the original, available now on Xbox Game Pass, by the way, wink. Tim, why is Raz so good at rummaging through brains?
Raz is, he has some very special skills. He has two whole sets of skills. One being the acrobatics.
O Matheus Monduma virou sub, Iago Bebê virou sub, mas mesmo melhor, obrigado, Iago.
On trampolines, swing on trapezes, and that helps him navigate and get around to all kinds of interesting places. But he also has this other side to his personality, which is that he's a powerful psychic. So he can levitate objects, he can use telekinesis and pyrokinesis. He has these powers which people might recognize from the first game, as well as 3 new powers for the second game. He has the ability to mentally connect thoughts together, and he can connect 2 thoughts and actually connect 2 thoughts together to solve puzzles and to navigate in this game. He has the power of time bubble, which is just change and slow down how things are moving by changing people's perception of time. And he also has the power of projection, which allows him to pull an archetype, a personality, out of his unconscious mind and bring it into the world that he's in, like a companion in battle or in puzzle solving.
But let's talk about the story for a second, because
Trailer Fabrício Mendonça, Enzo Coelho, você mudar porque tu vez. Fala, Davy, mais uma mensagem maravilhosa. Pretende assistir o Free Guy quando? Vai lá comentar no canal. Cara, quando tiver disponível o serviço de streaming, cara, eu não tô indo no cinema, não. Eu decidi que eu vou voltar pro cinema pra assistir filme no cinema em dezembro. Ok? Em dezembro. Com Homem-Aranha. Vai ser minha volta pro cinema, vai ser épica ainda.
And the interns quickly tell him and show him how he
Torugo falou, se amanhã não tiver nada, God of War vai ser osso. É possível que não tenha não, hein, cara.
Yeah, so Ern is way back to the top again. He's no longer the coolest kid in summer camp. And much to his chagrin, his entire family, his entire embarrassing circus clothes wearing family comes to visit him in front of all.
Caraca, tá fazendo a véia pela corda com o corpo.
The interns find out that he's the awkward middle child of a circus family. Each one of them has their own quirks and foibles, and some of them are even psychic. And so a lot of their story gets told in this game, including their backstory and how it relates to the foundation of the Psychonauts themselves.
Well, I like that. And of course, as you might know already, I'm sold. But you, of course, already knew that. When can myself and the rest of the world exact some beefy, meaty revenge?
You can get back to the beef and play Psychonauts 2 on August 25th on Xbox Game Pass and PC.
There it is. Lizette, Tim from Double Fine, thank you so much. And you know what? Extend a huge congratulations to everyone at Double Fine on the launch of Psychonauts 2.
Thank you so much. We're very excited.
Thank you.
And you can catch more of Tim Schafer and ask him those burning questions about the newest game in the fan-favorite franchise in our Xbox Play stream tomorrow. But first, we're going from cleaning out mental cobwebs to cleaning up alien planets in this supremely satisfying 4K 60 trailer for The Gunk.
The Gunk. Jogo espacial aí, tava faltando, né?
Pretty sure the ship's insurance won't cover alien storm damage. You have to be careful out there.
Ah, eu gosto, hein? Olha só, satisfatório mesmo ficar aspirando coisas. Espera aí, vamos ver o que mais. Chup-chup. Olha lá, chup-chup, eu gosto de chup-chup.
We have talked about so many incredible games.
Christopher Oliveira versão do 4 mês.
But let me just say, it is so cool that State of Decay 2 is expanding.
Salve mais vezes aqui, parabéns. Você acha que seria uma ideia bacana o Dantes Inferno voltar com os exclusivos do Xbox? Seria meu sonho. Pode ser. Faz tempo hein, que a gente não vê também isso. Dantes Inferno. Pelo menos que eu lembrei.
I was staring daggers of jealousy watching you talk to Tim and Lizette over at Double Fine.
Well, I will say this, I understand, but you got to play Psychonauts 2 already, so I don't even want to hear it.
That's true, but it's not the same as talking to the creators. Just trust me when I tell you. Be excited for Psychonauts 2.
I will say this as well, I am excited to see even more of Psychonauts 2 on our Xbox Plays streams.
Yes, don't forget, Xbox Plays will recap all the week's news throughout the week at twitch.tv/Xbox, so make sure to check that out. Before Kate and I let Playground Games take the wheel, let me just say that it has been our distinct pleasure.
Ó, vai entrar aí o Forza Horizon 5, né?
Oh, it's hands down the best part of the job, for sure.
But we're far from done here.
Too true. Now, in June, Playground Games announced that Forza Horizon 5
agora apareceu Forza Horizon 5.
To 2018's breakout hit open-world driving game Forza Horizon 4 arrives on November 9th on Xbox consoles, Xbox Game Pass for console, PC, and cloud, and of course, Steam.
And if you're watching our Xbox YouTube channel, switch over to our Xbox Twitch channel to see all this new exclusive content.
And that is twitch.tv/Xbox for the full room experience. And if you're already watching on Twitch or one of the Forza channels, stay right where you are.
Without further ado, Let's dive in, starting with the new custom Forza Horizon 5 controller, which is available for pre-order today, so players can have it in hand.
Inclusive já tá mostrando esse controle lá na Twitch. É, já vi que na Twitch aqui tá mais adiantado, mas dá uma olhada no controle, é bem maneiro, na verdade. Bem maneiro o controle, né? Foda. Marquês mandei pra mim, eu adoro o controle. Esse eu vou jogar em live. Esse eu tô bem afim de jogar em live, realmente. Galera, então, pelo visto não apareceu o Fable, né? Mas calma. Pô, ficou maneiro esse controle, hein? Putz.
Charlie here, and I'm at Playground Games with Forza Horizon
Não
creative
entendi,
director Mike Brown
tá a mesma coisa no...
art director Don Arcetta. Hello, everybody.
Tá a mesma coisa na Twitch.
Hey Charlie, how cool is this?
That is stunning. Look at that. Well, we obviously just saw a really cool video.
Galera, vou esperar acabar. Tem mais meia hora ainda. Tá?
Car culture and music literally splayed right across the front, isn't that right?
Absolutely. It just feels like it's a part of the Horizon Festival, like it's just dropped out of the game into your lap.
Absolutely.
Absolutely love it.
And there's so much we do want to show the fans, and it's been quite difficult to decide where to start. So can you maybe tell us a bit more about the game, Mike?
Sure, yeah. So Forza Horizon 5 is bringing the Horizon Festival's unique brand of fun and freedom to beautiful and vibrant Mexico. Players are going to set out across the largest, most diverse open world we've ever built in hundreds of the world's most beautiful and exciting cars.
Yeah, and people think that Mexico is just a desert or a beach, but there's so much more to it, isn't there?
That's right. Even though it does have pretty awesome beaches and a number of amazing deserts, it also has vast canyons, hidden temples, awesome, beautiful historic cities, and even a towering snow-capped volcano, the highest point we've ever had in a Horizon game.
So you've talked about how Forza Horizon 5 showcases powerful, all-new graphical features, but what more can you tell us about that?
As novidades aí do Forza, mas não, já vi que só vão falar coisas técnicas assim. Queria ver meu gameplay, né? Desenvolvedor falando, a gente já viu muito hoje, né?
Is utilized in Forza Vista to really make our cars look more true to real life. You'll encounter the smallest of details as you travel throughout the world, all rendered in striking realism.
1077, Zionico virou sub. Desejo um sucesso sempre. Abraço da valeu, Zionico. Abraço.
Mike, what exactly is that?
Yeah, that's right. We are about to reveal the cover of Forza Horizon 5, featuring the incredible Mercedes AMG 1 and the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. Should we take a look?
Let's do it, yeah.
Carro novo, Bronco Badlands. Cara, eu joguei o Forza Horizon 4, eu fiz live, vocês tá ligado? E eu me diverti pra caramba com o Forza Horizon 4, apesar de eu não curtir muito o jogo de corrida. Eu vou jogar isso com certeza pra brincar. Acho que é bem divertido de fazer live, inclusive. (9 de novembro).
Now, those are two very different ways to explore Mexico. So what I want to know is why those two cars were chosen and what players can expect when they get behind the wheel.
Yeah, so those differences are exactly why we chose them. The Mercedes AMG 1 marks the first time a car features Formula One hybrid technology almost one-to-one from track to the street. And with the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, you know, that's primed for rugged...
Não teve Halo, hein? Se a gente colocasse o Halo, vocês que falaram que o cara estragou aí a aposta. Não teve Halo. Vagabundo ia perder os pontos tudo aí se botasse nessa, hein?
So, in a few moments' time, we'll be kicking off a Forza Horizon 5 Let's Go stream, and everybody should check that out for a big deep dive into loads of new content and features from Forza
Dragos
Horizon 5.
sub.
But before that, we have 8 minutes of brand new gameplay.
8 minutos de gameplay. Agora pelo menos veremos o gameplay, hein?
And the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands. And in typical Horizon fashion, we are going to see active volcanoes, cars jumping out of cargo planes, and a race under beautiful Mexican skies all the way to the Horizon Festival. Should we check it out?
I think we should.
Ó, agora vai. Caraca, vai descer estilo Velozes e Furiosos do avião. Vai descer do avião, Velozes e Furiosos, vambora. Qual era? Paraquedas, isso. Igual o Velozes e Furiosos. Qual Velozes e Furiosos que tem isso, hein? É o 8? Drop like it's hot. Vai cair no vulcão. É o 7, é o 7. O 7 que sai. Desce o carro do avião de paraquedas. Família. Bem-vindos ao México.
We take control of the 2021 Ford Bronco Badlands, atop of the towering, snow-capped Gran Caldera volcano.
See you on the other side! Follow that car! Past me!
Ah, mas isso eu gosto, dessas maluquices, pular de carro, sabe, mega rampa, tá ligado? GTA, é basicamente GTA, né? Isso é legal. Caraca, maneiríssimo o cenário, hein? Nossa. Esse eu vou brincar com esse jogo aí. Isso, quebra, pula, isso que eu gosto. Agora vai dropar o carro da Mercedes lá, isso. Olha o Brian.
So now we see the 2020 Corvette Stingray tearing up the asphalt towards a dust storm in the Mexican farmland.
Caraca, ele vai lá pra tempestade de areia, maneiro. Essas músicas que vão matar. Tem que deletar todas as lives de Forza Horizon quando eu jogo. Eu vou ter que deletar essa live aqui depois que terminar por causa dessas músicas aí. Caraca, maneiro, hein? Eu gosto de jogos de corrida assim, quando tem maluquice, tipo GTA. Eu não gosto de simulador, não me adapto, não curto, eu gosto de maluquice.
Okay, on my mark. 5, 4. 4 now, that's fine. This could get a little rough.
Esse Porsche aí, diferenciado. Porsche 911. O L. Bnick, versão vocês também. Salve, Davy! Fosse muito foda. Eu acho incrível como consegue fazer um jogo de corrida ser basicamente um dos melhores. Não, o melhor do estilo de Xbox. O jogo não fica nem um pouco chato ao longo do gameplay. É, então, eu acho que isso varia, ô Bnick. Porque assim, não que fique chato, mas por exemplo, eu, quando joguei Forza Horizon 4, eu enjoei um pouco. Eu parei de jogar porque eu enjoei. Mas aí é do estilo de jogo, entende? Não é pra mim, realmente. Eu enjoei porque era basicamente ficar, né? Eu sei que vai se repetir muitas vezes e tudo, mas realmente... Mas pra quem gosta de jogo de corrida, realmente é fantástico. E esse jogo vai ser muito bom. O Hiro Kamiya falou, eu que gosto de Forza, acho enjoativo também. É, eu acho que é questão do estilo do jogo, entende? O jogo de corrida é assim. Acaba enjoando depois de um tempo. Mas realmente é muito bonito, principalmente você tá vendo, tipo, a gente tá aqui no YouTube, né? Tá no HD e tal, mas tá muito reduzida a qualidade. Nossa, tá muito reduzida a qualidade. Johan X Desmaga, acabou de virar sub, muito obrigado. Qual é o meu herói favorito, Kevin? Meu herói favorito é o Peter Parker. É o que eu mais gosto, apesar dos outros serem legais também, o que eu mais gosto é o Peter mesmo. Ronan 0511, versão 10 4 meses. Esqueci de deixar o Prime mais um mês. Valeu, Ronan. Essa aí parece as dunas, bonito pra caralho. Assim, eu vou te falar que a escolha do local, que foi o México dessa vez, é muito melhor do que eles botaram a Inglaterra da outra vez. Porra, tem muito mais beleza natural, pelo menos pelo que eles estão mostrando, no México do que na Inglaterra, né? Ó, Genesis Mitsuru falou que vai dar o sub, então dá o sub aí, vem comigo. O Kajin TV virou sub por 4 meses. Oi, Dave, tô aqui nas entregas do iFood, parei um pouco pra renovar o sub. Tamo junto, só pro Ceará. Gostei do vídeo sobre o jogo Ceará e Flamengo. Obrigado, Kajin. Muito obrigado por ter dado essa parada no seu trampo aí pra dar o sub aqui. Tamo junto. Agora deu uma melhorada na imagem, não sei bem porquê, mas ficou bem mais bonito. Cara, tá bonito demais, cara. Nossa. Tá bonito demais. Espero que esteja cada vez mais fácil de jogar, tipo arcade mesmo, que é assim que eu gosto de jogo de corrida. Galera, 10 mil pessoas na live, muito obrigado. Amanhã tem mais, hein? Amanhã tem o evento da Gamescom também, vamos começar a live às 2. Vai ter o evento amanhã também. E acabou a live agora do Xbox. A gente vai jogar 12 minutos, 12 minutes. Vou jogar com a Thaís, tá?